Hey, um, been a while since I made a proper video. I'm gonna be trying out a new style with a new editor, a good friend of mine. And so I'm gonna try and take you guys along my life while I try to get my portfolio done. Um, I'll get more into the art I'm making this week in the voiceover. Might as well introduce you guys. Come here, Ghosty. You want cuddles? Come on. Where's my good boy? Here's Ghost. He's gotten huge. If you've been following his Instagram, he likes to interrupt, so I'm sure you guys will get clips of him just staring at me or bumping the tripod over. He's staring at the outside searching for birds. And yeah, welcome to me trying this again. Dog's sleeping, so I think we might actually get some time to get some work in. I already have my page divided up into what I'm going to be doing.
Hello, I am the editor for Sid's art piece, Thingamajig, and I am going to be poking them with questions about life and stuff.
Hi, it's Sid.
Sid, my mouse. Anyways, I'm very curious to know what led you to the whole thing about opposites.
Opposites? Well, it's another piece I'm working on actually. I've just been thinking a lot about like juxtaposition, and stuff, and like just at, like how different life can be right beside each other. Like two people's lives can be so opposite while they're sitting right next door or in the same room, and just how that is kind of what life itself is composed of, getting to know all these differences in people. And I'm going through some pretty big changes right now myself, so
I'm gonna call that the sketch. I hope I'm able to get these ideas and shades across. I've never been one to really work with skin and trying to make skin look good, so that's gonna be one of my big challenges with this. I'm trying to get well, I should have explained it in the voiceover, so yeah, I'll check in a bit. Can you guys see that? I think it's so pretty. And if you're lucky, you'll see a ghost running around too. There's like pinks and reds in it. I wish I could get it. Anyway, let's focus on the yard. It's so overexposed. Hey, look, there he is. I gotta make a decision. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. How realistic do I want to make this? Do I want to do skin tones? Or do I want to do like really high contrast colors because our theme is opposites? The more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to go with high contrast colors. All right, can't wait to do some tests. This is how I have to feed Ghost. Otherwise, he eats it all too fast, and at least with fabric, I can just fold it over a different way. And if he's solving the puzzle too fast, I just fold it differently, and it gives me some time where he's not up my ass. Update. I have just spent a couple hours, I think, testing out different color swatch mixes. I think I got it. I think I'm gonna go with this mix here and this mix here. I think for sure this one. I'm also debating if I want to use this, but I like the variation of color in that grouping, so I'm trying to start. It's 3 p.m. This guy doesn't want to let me work. Keeps doing this. I can show you. Just plop it onto my lap here. So, um, I did some erasing yesterday, and I figured out my colors. So I'm gonna start with the green one and do red second. I don't like working in red much, but I want to for this piece. So we're gonna get that done, and hopefully this guy will be a good boy for me and relax. Can you go relax? I know you want to give me kisses on the face. Okay.
So what led you to create the art piece in the way that you did?
Honestly, like I mentioned, lots of changes going on right now, and I got sober recently.
Yay!
And thanks. A big step in getting sober for me personally is kind of figuring out what I was like, because I didn't really have any memory of it. So hearing some stuff, which we can get into later, really made me realize who I was before and who I am sober. And I had some friends like describe the stark difference to me. And hearing the difference just really, really,
Kind of put things in perspective. It's like, whoa.
yeah, like who even am I anymore, you know? And so in a way, this is kind of a self-portrait.
Before
Yeah.
and after, right? Or after and before, however you want to put that, right?
Yeah, well, and you can really debate which one's before and which one's after. In one way, the before could be like the second piece I do, which is like drunk and angry, or the before could be this version of me I'm trying to get. And I know I'll never be the same person, but yeah, the before could be me before drinking, the before could be me while I'm drinking, and the after could be me while drinking or me post drinking. It's really, really personal, you know? And depends on where you're at looking at it, you know?
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. It's one of those things where it can be one or the other. And I almost wonder, looking at that from the perspective of green could be before, red could be during, if you almost want to do a third one that is the after red, if that makes any sense, or if you want to leave it with just the two so that you have the subjective shenanigans.
I really like the subjectivity, honestly. I really think that's where the art comes in, right? That's where the discussion between artist and viewer really comes into play. Like, you know, if you're in the throes of addiction, you know, you might see that it as like a progression from one, step two, you know? But if you're like from where I'm sitting mentally right now, the person above is literally above mentally the mental state that the person below is in. You know?
That's certainly one way to look at it, for sure.
Yeah.
That almost like the green, the one that you're trying to be is better? Hesitant question?
Well, yeah, I'd say, and I can't say that like speaks to all people that drink or while they're drinking, you know? There's a lot of people that can handle their booze just fine, you know, and don't take it overboard. But I'm not one of them, and I can definitely say me drunk is a lot worse than me sober. And I can only talk about myself, you know?
Yeah, you could only ever 100% for sure say your perspective, because nobody's ever invented a perspective understanding machine that lets you live other people's lives quite yet. Though I think we're getting there at some point.
You think so? I really don't know at this point.
Well, with some,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of making videos, really, especially of this particular subject matter. It helps get an inkling, a window into another person's life so that you can potentially understand some of what they've been through and what they are like because of it.
If you put it that way, I guess you're probably right.
All right. Well, I'm done. I'm done half of it. Hopefully, this guy will let me finish the other half today, and I'll take you for a nice extra long walk tomorrow. We'll go to the park. But only if you let me finish tonight. Otherwise, we won't have time for that long of a walk. I also have a postcard I have to do, and my brother's birthday coming up. So I still have to plan those by the end of this week because I need them both to be out of my hands before the end of the month. So I'm going to take a Stardew Valley break. I swear I'm not watching Hassan. No, I'm not. Anyway, I'll check in later. Going to the dog park, and that seems totally safe. It's at a 45-degree angle to the ground. But okay. It's Friday night. I spent too long at the dog park. I have to have my TikTok uploaded by midnight. And we're about this far along. So I need to power paint the rest of this painting. And it's 6:30. 3.5 hours? Wish me luck.
You said something about a stark difference. How do you mean that?
I mean, like, I was a literal monster, man. I was destroying all my relationships. I was, like, it's like, it's a dark time, you know? I said hurtful shit. I didn't move past anything. I just let it all linger, and anytime I got blackout, I would just yell whatever I was thinking about and say other people were saying it and freaking out and say it was ugly, you know?
You went from good to bad to ugly, if we're to use references.
Yeah. Well, there was no good. It was always just bad and ugly, you know? At some point, when you're drinking like that, the good just goes away. Yeah.
Not easy not easy for anyone, really. Especially for the person on hand who doesn't even remember, right? Like you mentioned, you were getting blackout drunk, so you weren't remembering any of this. So your first thing you're doing waking up is finding out all the stuff that you said. And it's like, oh my Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm not looking for pity, you know? I'm not looking for like, oh, it's hard. Like, yeah, it was hard. I think it was harder to keep living like that than to try and do this, which is honestly one of the hardest things I've done in my life. But it's worth it. Like,
there's a saying that I've taken to heart lately. If nothing worth doing is ever going to be easy.
Yeah, a life worth living is a lot of hard work, is the version of that always stuck with me. That's what pushed me through a lot of my mental health work that I got done.
Which I'm very happy that you got that done, by the way.
It's not all over and done with, you know, but like, I'm stable now, you know, I'm not... Well, you know what I was like.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It was it's like, yes, obviously the journey's not over yet, but you've taken some really big steps. So
thanks, my dude. Thank you. It's nice to have support. You know, it's the thing that people don't want to talk about because, someone's been so mean to you, and then they come to you and they're like, "Hey, I quit being an asshole, but I'm still having moments where I'm an asshole, but for different reasons now. Um, but I'm trying to not be an asshole, and I need some help in that." And this person's been a dick, and they're sitting there saying, "I'm sorry," and that they want to change. And it's like, I don't blame people that just say, like, "Nah, I'm not gonna deal with this," because it's a lot to deal with, you know? I'm not gonna sit there and, like, say anything less than that. It's not anyone's obligation to stand by someone through this shit. But without support, it's really hard for that person to make it to the other side, you know? And that's what breaks down usually before someone falls out of it is, maybe people are being supportive but they're not listening, or they're trying to be supportive but they're not listening to what that person needs, or they're mm, or they think they understand, but part of understanding is understanding that you won't quite understand, that there's times where you're just gonna have to listen, and that's all that can really be done in that moment. There is no silver lining to it. There's some shitty shit that coming out of it you gotta own up to, and that you gotta live with now for the rest of your life, and that's part of it, you know? But learning how to cope with that is also part of it.
Yeah, and it's never easy when the things that happen in your life just destroy the things that you need to keep going. But that's part of the rebirth too, is finding old people that you haven't talked to in a while, or new people that are willing to listen and willing to help. And however you get your support, the support is what's key, right?
Yeah, it's a major aspect. I wouldn't say it's the only one. I wish we had more time to talk about this, honestly. But my painting's pretty much done. I'm finishing it up here. And I want to say thanks for having this chat with me.
No problem. And
Uh,
there's always next time.
Always next time. Talk to you later.
Okay, it's Saturday. I ended up taking Ghost for like a 3-hour walk. So I'm exhausted. And last night I was way too tired. But reach it. It's done. And I have my next piece I'm working on, which probably not going to take video of. And I have another piece I'm working on. And I'm hoping some of you guys will send me some challenges. So please feel free to drop them in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. But that's about that. Peace and love.